There's a wall in the Saharan desert that's 16 times longer than the Berlin Wall. It's surrounded by 7 million landmines, and it divides a people who were promised a vote 50 years ago. That vote never happened, and the world has decided that's perfectly acceptable. This is the story of how international law died in the desert. In 1884, Spain colonized the Western Sahara during the Berlin Conference, when European powers sat around the table and carved up Africa. For 90 years, Spain controlled the territory. About 74,000 indigenous Sahrawis lived there, nomadic Berber and Arab peoples whose tribes had existed for centuries. By 1974, Spain wanted out. They conducted a census to identify who could vote and promised a referendum. The plan was simple: let the Sahrawis choose their own future, either independence or integration with a neighboring country. Morocco had other plans. King Hassan II claimed Western Sahara had always belonged to Morocco. His argument was based on bay'ah, religious allegiance that some Saharan tribes had historically shown to Moroccan sultans. So Morocco did something unusual. They asked the International Court of Justice to rule on their claim just before Spain could hold a referendum. On October 16, 1975, the International Court of Justice delivered its opinion. The court acknowledged that yes, some tribes had shown allegiance to Moroccan sultans centuries ago, but the ruling was explicit. These historical ties do not establish any tie of territorial sovereignty between the territory of Western Sahara and the Kingdom of Morocco. Morocco had no legal claim. Hours later, King Hassan II appeared on television and announced the Green March. The timing wasn't coincidental. Hassan had survived 2 assassination attempts in 4 years. His country was in economic crisis. He desperately needed to unite Moroccans behind something. 21 days after the court ruled against him, 350,000 unarmed Moroccan civilians walked across the border. Hassan told them they were mujahideen, holy warriors recovering stolen Moroccan land. It was brilliant political theater. Here's what he didn't mention. Just months earlier, a UN mission had visited the Western Sahara and found an overwhelming consensus among Saharans in favor of independence and opposing integration with any neighboring country. The mission identified the Polisario Front, a Sahrawi independence movement founded in 1973, as the dominant political force in the territory. Morocco invaded anyway. On November 14, 1975, Spain signed the Madrid Accords with Morocco and Mauritania. Spain was weak. Franco had just died and they wanted out of Africa, so they handed administrative control to Morocco and Mauritania, then left. The United Nations never recognized this transfer. Under international law, you cannot transfer sovereignty over a territory without the consent of its people. But by then, Moroccan troops already controlled the western 2/3 of the territory. Mauritania took the southern third. Tens of thousands of Sahrawis fled into the desert. They ended up in refugee camps near Tindouf, Algeria. The camps were supposed to be temporary. War broke out. The Polisario Front fought both Morocco and Mauritania for years. In 1979, Mauritania withdrew after suffering military defeats. Morocco immediately annexed the territory Mauritania had abandoned. Between 1980 and 1987, Morocco built a fortified wall across the entire territory, 2,700 kilometers long, surrounded by landmines, manned by over 100,000 troops. The wall divided Western Sahara into 2 zones. Morocco controlled 70%, the areas with cities, phosphate mines and fishing ports. The Polisario Front controlled 30% of empty desert. But Morocco didn't just build walls, they implemented a settlement policy. They relocated hundreds of thousands of Moroccan citizens into Western Sahara, offering subsidies, jobs, and housing. Sounds familiar? It's called creating facts on the ground. Change the demographics, build infrastructure, wait long enough, then claim any alternative is impractical. By 2025, Moroccan settlers outnumber indigenous Sahrawis about 2-1. Under the Fourth Geneva Convention, transferring civilians into occupied territory is illegal. This is the same principle that makes the Israeli settlements in the West Bank illegal. Meanwhile, Morocco began extracting resources. The Bukra phosphate mine and fishing rights worth hundreds of millions annually. Agriculture land, some of it owned personally by King Mohammed VI. Between 1976 and 2015, Morocco extracted an estimated 5.6 billion in resources from Western Sahara. In 1991, Morocco and the Polisario Front agreed to a UN-supervised ceasefire and referendum. The deal was clear. Sahrawis would vote to choose between independence and integration with Morocco. The UN established MINUROSO, a peacekeeping mission, to organize it. The referendum was scheduled for January 1992. It never happened. The problem was voter eligibility. Who counts as Sahrawi? Spain's 1974 census listed 74,000 people. Morocco submitted applications for 120,000 additional voters. By the early 2000s, UN officials concluded that the vast majority of Morocco's applicants couldn't prove they had the right to vote. That's when Morocco declared the referendum unrealistic. In 2001, King Mohammed VI officially rejected the referendum in a televised speech. Instead, Morocco proposed autonomy under Moroccan sovereignty. The vote promised in 1975 was dead. Morocco had successfully run out the clock. So why did the international community let this happen? Because Morocco became too valuable to alienate. Morocco controls the Strait of Gibraltar, a critical maritime choke point. They provide counter-terrorism intelligence that European countries depend on. After the 2015 Paris attacks, Moroccan intelligence was essential to finding the ringleader. But here's the critical factor. Morocco serves as Europe's migration barrier, stopping hundreds of thousands of African migrants from reaching European shores. When countries tried to challenge them, Morocco demonstrated their leverage. In 2021, Spain attempted to honor European court rulings. Morocco's response was immediate. They opened migration routes, and 10,000 people poured into the Spanish enclave of Ceuta in a single day. Within months, Spain reversed its position and endorsed Morocco's autonomy plan. France followed in 2024, the United Kingdom shifted in 2025, and then there's the United States. In 2020, Donald Trump recognized Moroccan sovereignty over Western Sahara entirely. The deal was simple. Morocco normalizes relations with Israel, and America recognizes their claim. The calculation has always been transactional. Supporting Morocco provides concrete benefits: intelligence sharing, migration control, and trade opportunities. Supporting the Sahrawis provides none. Here's what's remarkable though. The same countries that condemn Israeli settlements as illegal under the Geneva Conventions are endorsing nearly identical Moroccan settlements using nearly identical justifications. Change the demographics, build infrastructure, wait long enough, and then call any alternative impractical. The difference isn't legal, it's political. Today, 173,600 Sahrawi refugees live in camps near Tindouf, Algeria. 3 generations have been born in exile. In August 2022, the World Food Programme cut rations by 75%. Refugees who once received 17 kilograms of food monthly now receive less than 5. Since 1975, over 500 Sahrawis have been disappeared, taken into secret detention without charges or trial. In 1991, Morocco released 300 prisoners who had been held for up to 19 years. The government had persistently denied holding them. 520 people are still missing. In May 2021, Moroccan security forces raped a prominent activist named Sultana Khaya. Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International documented it. She's been under house arrest since November 2020. The world said nothing. Ibrahim Hussein Leibet was 19 when he lost half his left leg stepping on a landmine. He was trying to get close enough to the wall to throw a pebble to the other side, a symbolic gesture of crossing a barrier that shouldn't exist. When asked if he regretted it, Ibrahim said, "I would gladly lose my other leg if it would mean my country could be free." The ceasefire that held from 1991 to 2020 collapsed. Fighting resumed. The referendum promised for 1992 will never happen. Morocco won by waiting. They changed the facts on the ground faster than international law could respond. And the world decided that was acceptable. Because in the end, this isn't a story about law or justice. It's a story about power. Morocco has it. The Sahrawis don't. And that's the only thing that matters.